This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for January 23, 2023, second murder nearby as cops process crime scene. As police processed one murder scene in Woolspen, Maypen on Saturday night, gunshots from the adjoining community of Palmer's Cross alerted them to a second fatal shooting. In the Woolspen incident, 31-year-old farmer Joel Bartley was killed as he cooked soup at the side of a shop. According to the police report, a man armed with a long gun entered the shop and asked to be served. He exited the shop after not getting any assistance, but he returned this time with a man armed with a shorter gun who kicked open a zinc gate to the right side of the building and shouted police. Bartley attempted to step back into the shop and the man armed with a short gun reportedly shot him in the head and he fell. The man armed with the long gun then shot him while he was on the ground. The shooters left on foot. The police were summoned and they arrived to find Bartley's body on its side. That incident occurred about 9:40 p.m. The police say in the second shooting, which took place about 11 p.m., Fitzroy 2-pound Blair was on his way to his house after leaving a community bar when several loud explosions were heard. Residents later found him on Church Lane and alerted the police. Blair, a 35-year-old mason from Ramsey Drive at Palmer's Cross, was seen lying face down in a pool of blood. He was clad in a gray long-sleeve shirt and a brown plaid shorts, along with a pair of black and gray socks. A pair of black and white slippers, believed to be his, was seen in close proximity to the body. Investigations continue into both killings. Campbell blasts Holness's handling of SSL issue. Seeing Prime Minister Andrew Holness's statement on allegations of a multi-billion-dollar fraud at investment firm Stocks and Securities Limited had not gone far enough, General Secretary of the opposition People's National Party, Dr. Dayton Campbell, has urged the government to step aside if it is unable to effectively handle the crisis and outline the way forward. The Prime Minister's statement was belated, in my opinion, and I don't think he went far enough. I think we want to see the leader of the country come forward to outline clear steps to say, this has happened, this is what we are aware of, these are the steps that we have taken, this is what we are going to put in place to ensure that this does not happen again, Campbell told reporters after the party's National Executive Council conference in Runaway Bay, St. Anne on Sunday. Without him doing that, I don't think that his statement has gone far enough, so what I want to know is what are the steps that are going to be taken to unearth what actually took place at SSL, what will be done to return the funds to Usain Bolt and others who have lost their investment, and what will be put in place to ensure that this never happens again, he questioned. On January 20, in his first official comment on the SSL issue, Holness said he was thoroughly disgusted and upset by revelations in the public domain surrounding this matter. He also said a thorough investigation was being done and no effort would be spared in identifying and bringing to justice those involved in defrauding SSL investors. But Campbell remains unimpressed. He believes that the PNP could do better. If it is that the Jamaica Labour Party does not have the whereabouts to do these things, explain what happened and what it will do to prevent a recurrence, then I'm asking them kindly to step out of the way and to let Mark Golding and his team put the regulations in place to monitor the industry, the PNP General Secretary said. Court slashes sentence of rape convict. A former Hart Academy student who was convicted in 2019 of raping a fellow student and sentenced to 15 years behind the bars succeeded in having his sentence slashed almost in half by the appeal court earlier this month, with the stipulation that he serves 6 years at hard labor before becoming eligible for parole. Attorneys for the convict had argued that the complainant alleged the rape because she did not get $2,000 she demanded for purchasing a morning after pill after a tryst in the back room of a bar one night. According to the defense, she had gone as far as to tell him that if he did not provide the funds at the time she requested it, she would make his life miserable. The male, who was 22 years old at the time of the offense, which occurred in 2017, was found guilty by a judge and a jury on an indictment charging him with indecent assault and rape. He was sentenced to 3 years and 2 months imprisonment for indecent assault and 15 years imprisonment for rape, with the stipulation that he serves 10 years before being eligible for parole. The sentences were ordered to run concurrently. Attorneys for the male student, who in his defense testified that the sex was consensual, had appealed the ruling on the grounds that the trial judge failed to adequately address the baseline of the case so that the jury could adequately analyze the case and see the underlying motive for the complainant to crime rape, and that the sentence was manifestly excessive. The prosecution in the matter led evidence that in June 2017, the complainant, who lived on dorm at the Hart Academy, was coming from a class at that institution one evening when she saw the appellant, whom she knew and considered to be a friend. According to prosecutors, the young man had told her in the past that he liked her, but she insisted on only being friends with him. That evening, he supposedly invited her to accompany him and his 2 male friends on a walk, during which they ended up at a bar where he purchased her a non-alcoholic drink. Sometime later, she asked for a bathroom and was led to a room by the appellant, who led her into the room and then tried to kiss her. According to the complainant, she pushed him off, but he brandished a knife and threatened her with it. After wrestling with him for a while, she said she gave up and he, after stripping her, raped her. According to the Crown, in the aftermath of the attack, the complainant asked her to be let out through a back door, and once back on dorm, messaged a cousin to tell him that she had been raped. A medical doctor who examined the young woman said what he found was consistent with a consensual and non-consensual sexual intercourse. The male, in his defense, said they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and that after the tryst, which he insisted was consensual, the complainant told him that she needed $2,000 to get a morning after pill. According to him, he told her that he did not have any more money, but that he would get it to her another evening. According to him, she demanded to have it then, stating that if he did not give it to her at the time, she would make his life miserable. Attorneys for the male argued that the offer to provide the money at a later time created bitterness on the part of the female, hence her cry of rape just in case she might have got pregnant. The appeal court, in addressing the defense's argument that the trial judge failed to properly address the bedrock of the case, said it found no merit in that ground, as the judge adequately addressed the issue of the complainant's credibility and gave the jury sufficient directions in respect of the facts which would have assisted them in deciding her credibility. However, on the ground that the sentence was manifestly excessive for the offense of rape, the court, while noting that rape is an egregious violation of the body and the psyche of the victim, said having balanced the aggravating and the mitigating factors, it concluded that the appropriate sentence is a term of 9 years imprisonment at hard labor, from which the period of 3 months and 10 days spent in custody on pre-sentence remand, when deducted, resulted in a sentence of 8 years, 8 months and 20 days imprisonment. As such, the appeal court affirmed the sentence of 3 years and 2 months imprisonment at hard labor for indecent assault, but ordered that the sentence of 15 years imprisonment at hard labor for rape be set aside and substituted with a sentence of 8 years, 8 months and 20 days imprisonment at hard labor, with the stipulation that he serves 6 years imprisonment at hard labor before becoming eligible for parole. The sentences are to be considered as having commenced on December 19, 2019, the date they were imposed, and are to run concurrently. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.